That front camera just looks so junky. I'm gonna turn it around. See, probably gonna make a difference. I don't know. I'm trying to keep the camera facing forward so I can see the screen, or use the forward camera so I can see the screen when it reconnects. So I can hit reconnect. See, that looks a lot clearer. It's probably just a dirty camera. I probably just need to clean it. Hey, Kevin. I don't even plan on fishing long. I just went live again to let everyone know what was up. I said I was gonna scoot on up to the dam and go bumping. Well, we had boat problems. We didn't make it to the dam. So, in case there was anyone, waiting on me, which I doubt, but I didn't want anybody worrying or wondering because I said I was gonna go to the dam and go live again, and I never did. But I thought I'd go live for a few just to let people know what was going on. Yeah, the boat, long story short, it didn't want to go over 7 miles an hour. So it would have took about 3 hours. Not really, but it would have took longer than we had to get to the dam. We have about 2 mile an hour current just on the river. So I slowed the boat down to 1 mile an hour and figured give it a try bumping just here. Really not enough current. But I'm able to keep contact with bottom for uh, like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. It doesn't help either. The wind, it start like right now. There's like no wind, so I'll set the trolling motor to do its thing, and then the wind kicks up, and then trolling mode, the speed's no good. Then I'll adjust it for when we have wind, and then the wind stops, and then we're going. It's just not good conditions. The weather is not fisherman friendly. But I figured I'd do this till dark or till, I don't know. It's a sun's down over the hills now. Give about 20 minutes. See if we can't nail one doing this. Let's just say today is not my day. I gotta go back to work after this. I honestly shouldn't have went. Oh, I think we had a bite. How deep is it here? 21 feet. That's surprising. That looks like some bow fishermen. All right, we're going too fast. I still can't get over when I go on .9 and they say we're going too fast. It's just mind boggling. Go from thinking 50, 60 mile an hour slow to saying .9 is fast. Sure makes a person feel old, let me tell you. I don't know. Could just be today being a bad day, but I feel like I shouldn't even go live like these next couple weeks. Stuff's just been, I don't know. Work's been rough, life's been rough. Everything that can go wrong has been going wrong. And any cheer that I have, I pretty much feel like I, saved for my son, saved the smiles and the happiness for when he's around. And then he goes back to his mom's, and then I'm back to being, Scrooge. Scrooge or the Grinch. Dang, that boat's making a heck of a wake. We knocked down our little strap for the roof. Hey, Mr. Tully41 says hello. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know, maybe I'll just stick the bank fishing and at pier fishing at the dam. I know I definitely shouldn't have tried to take the boat out on a weekday. I got out of work early because I'm waiting on some parts, and the parts weren't supposed to come in till 5 or 6. And it's the only job I had, so I thought, well, there's no sense in sitting around for waiting for nothing. We'll take the boat out for a few hours, and then when the parts come in, they'll call me and we'll go back to work. But trying to take the boat out with just so little time, and being on a time clock it's just, I don't know. It sounded like a good idea, but it actually ended up being very stressful. And now I'm like regretting I even came out, which is crazy to hear myself say that I regret that I'm on the boat. Some people's probably thinking that that's insane, but I it's a whole lot of work to do just for whole lot of work for just a little bit of fishing. Like, I should have just took my one pole and went fishing for walleye, because then we could have made better use out of our time. I can drive to the dam and be there in 5 minutes. I spent like an hour and a half getting the boat ready and getting putting oil in it and putting gas in it and getting here. Yeah, short time bank fish. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, I know what I was thinking. I know. Well, actually, I know exactly what I was thinking. This bumping rod, I haven't gotten to use it in a year, over a year. We haven't had any flow, no flow in the river. This is like the first time that the river's been up and had some flow. And if we have had flow, like, I just could not fish. I had obligations or work. But this is basically the first time to where I could get on the water with the river up. But there has, I mean, I'm only in like a year's time. I bet you this river's only been up. I mean, 2 or 3 times, maybe all summer. And it was a blink of an eye, up for a day, and bam, right back down. Like it's actually supposed to be up even more tomorrow. What is going on here? Totally lost bottom. There we go. But basically, the water came up, and I was excited, and I said, "Oh, maybe there's enough water to bump." And you got to bump from the boat. Can't do that from the bank. So that's when I said I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I actually do. I thought, hey, we can finally bump. I've never even caught a fish on this setup. The B&M bumping rod with the low profile bait caster. I've only bumped with it twice, and each time we didn't have. Basically, it's like it is now. Not enough flow. I thought I could put like a half, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce weight on and get by, but the flow's not too bad today for not being up at the dam. The problem is the wind uh, starts blowing, and then you got to adjust the trolling motor for that, and then the wind stops, and then you get basically the wind keeps starting and stopping. But like now, the wind's really not blowing much. We're drifting back at point 0.5. The current's moving about 1.5, and we're able to keep contact with bottom. But then the wind will start blowing, and we'll lose bottom. I got white bass on, so I know it's on the hook still. Yeah, I've had the worst luck with this working on this Hummer, and that's the first mistake is working on a Hummer. Them customers are the hardest customers. They're worse than Mercedes owners or Cadillac owners because their Hummer, they think it's like a real Hummer, like a H1 Alpha Hummer, and they treat it like their child, and they freak out over every little thing. And when you're working on it, they'll call you 20 times in a day wanting it. They're like the worst owner slash customers, Hummer people. If there's any Hummer people in chat, well, that's just the truth. But but I'm doing transmission lines on a Hummer, and that's supposed to be simple, right? You'd think. Well, I should have known something wasn't right before I ever even picked up a wrench. I went on the AutoZone. AutoZone has an app, AutoZone Pro, for people that work on cars. I went on the AutoZone Pro app and entered the vehicle, looked up transmission lines, and it showed me two lines. One was a AC Delco GM part, and another was a Dorman part, an inlet and an outlet, which I found that weird. Not being the same brand. The inlet was a AC Delco GM part, and the outlet was a Dorman part. But it's all they showed, so I ordered them. Well, I spend like 2 hours trying to get this line in. One line snaps in. It's a line with them quick disconnect clips, them little wire clips that hold them in place. You got to pull the plastic off, and then you pop that little wire clip out, and the line comes out. Well, one went right back in easy, snapped in, boom. The other one snapped in, and I just didn't feel like it seated good. I just didn't like it, so I grab a hold of the line and jiggle it and pull on it, and it pops right back out. So I pull the clip off and put the line back in. Well, first I put the clip on and then snapped the line in with the clip on. It still didn't sit right. So then I put the line in, then put the clip on after. Still didn't sit right. And I fooled with this thing for well over an hour. And I realized that line, the end of it, it is like 1 millimeter longer. if I if I had my other pants on, I could just show y'all. But the line where it goes into the transmission on this Hummer is 1 millimeter longer. So it wasn't going in all the way to clip on the wire. So I didn't have my tablet with me to go on the AutoZone app last night. So I go to AutoZone.com, not the app. And when I go to the .com site, it shows 4 transmission lines instead of 2. It showed me both Dorman transmission lines and both AC Delco GM transmission lines with different part numbers. So I'm like, oh shoot, that's the line I need. So I order the AC Delco line, go get it this morning. Guess what? It's identical to the Dorman. The fitting's like 1 millimeter too long. So, and that's the official GM part, So, like, what are you supposed to do when you get the official AC Delco GM part? If I went to the GM dealer and said I needed a line, they would give me the same line. So, like, I'm at a loss. So I ordered a fitting, a different transmission fitting. So I'm hoping that fitting will fit the line. I should have just called my cousin because he does transmissions, and he's guaranteed he's already been down this road. All right, we got too much line out. We're gonna do one more bumpity bump. Or one more drift, whatever you want to call it. Just talking about that dang Hummer gets me feeling not well. I'm gonna kill the trolling motor, see how fast the current is. I'm assuming I know what it is, but that was like a mile upriver. Dang, I had a lot of line out. It's the only thing about bumping when it's time to reel in. And then if you get a fish with all that line out, oh Lord, it's awful. We still got our white bass. Shoot, we're moving. Yeah, see, we're moving faster than I thought. We're going 2.4 now. 2.4. All right, let's get the boat spun around. Now it says we're going 1.9. It's at wind. See? 2.4. Then the wind starts. Now we're going 1.6. But the current's still moving at the same speed, so we still got enough to bump, you know? All I know is my hands are cold. I need to get better three-way swivels. They're not swiveling. You ever notice some swivels work good in the summer when it's hot, but when they get cold, they just don't swivel. My swivels ain't swiveling. Dang it. They're still not swiveling. There we go. It's swiveled. This winter, I had to look and make sure there's anyone in chat, so I ain't talking to myself. This winter has been so weird. Like the fall, the winter. I mean, it's winter and we're still dealing with fall problems. Like all these leaves, there shouldn't be any leaves in the water in December. Actually, we're still dealing with grass and hydrilla. I pull my line up from the river sometimes, and there's lush green hydrilla or grass in December. That's insane. All right, we're going 0.8. That should be good. I figure we'd at least get a little channel right. Cha channel. What's happening, Lisa? We was gonna go up to the dam and bump, but we have boat problems. So we're attempting to bump not at the dam. There is enough current, but the wind keeps starting and stopping, and it's making it difficult to keep the boat going the speed I need. That looks like a dead goose. Sure does. Sure does. So I let my kid tie some flies, and I created a monster. He's taking apart his dream catcher for the feathers. He had there's this eagle feather we got it. I don't know, one of the zoos or safari places we went to. He's had for years. He's chopping the eagle feather up, taking the dream catcher apart, asking if we can go get different colored threads. I just hope his interest in time flies stays. That he just doesn't, lose interest in a day, because that would be awesome. I was so surprised this past weekend. Usually he wakes up and first thing he wants to do is get on the tablet or play video games. And he's like, Dad, can I tie a fly? I'm like, yeah, sure, definitely. And then later that day, we went out. We went places, around some errands. We got home. First thing he asked again, can I tie a fly? I couldn't believe it. I was like, you could tie as many flies as you want. Don't even got to ask. Like if I would have known that, I would have let him do it year ago. Or I don't know. I guess any age can tie a fly. If you can tie your shoes, you can tie a fly. I guess, but yeah, I would have let him do it years ago if I'd known. And he's seen me doing it for a while, and he's been interested. Well, he watches, but he didn't realize how easy it was. He's like, I can't believe how easy it is, and I can't believe how quick he does it. Like he'll start tying a fly, and he comes in with it, showing it to me like 90 seconds later, and he's tying stuff that's better than I kind of like it better than what I tie. Because at first I was like, he'd only use like one little piece of feather, one little like. I'm like, you need more. You got to stack it. You need more, and he's still just one little piece. But the more I look at him, the more I like him because it's simple. His are like simple, clean, simple, just and they look good. I get carried away by trying to make mine look too like I don't know, too perfect or too good. Different colors and stacking the feathers and using different stuff and I never even realized that till I seen how simple and clean his was. I just couldn't believe it. How good of a job he did. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I just went live again because I said we were gonna boogie up to the dam and bump bump up there at the dam. And we have boat problems. boat won't go over 7 miles an hour. So we wouldn't have got there till midnight at that rate. But I just went live for a bit just to let everyone know what happened. Yeah, I thought something would have hit this white bass for sure. We had to have bumped it past a couple catfish by now. I think I got some leaves on it because it feels heavy. I went fishing yesterday and up at the dam, it was so cold. It wasn't even cold, the temperature. I think it was in like the 40s, but the wind and the rain, oh, like it was one of them colds to where, deep down, where deep down cold, where the wind blows right through you. And it didn't help that I was half my body was wet because the wind was blowing from one side. The wind was blowing so hard I was basically getting pounded with rain just on my right side. And I had my raincoat on, but I didn't have rain pants on. So my whole right pant leg from the water dripping off the raincoat, basically dripping into my boot. My whole right pant leg was soaked, and my boot was wet inside, and not catching any fish. That didn't help. But yeah, I gave it like about an hour and a half yesterday fishing up at the dam. I actually was going to go live yesterday because the last time I was there, I caught a bunch of walleye, probably about 20 sauger and walleye. I posted some of them on my community tab, some of the better walleye and sauger. But I went back and yeah, the bite was totally turned off. I went back expecting to have a repeat of the last time I was there, and yeah, it was nothing. Went nothing like that. Well, I better flip this nav light on. It's getting a little dark. Did I give that arm a break? Man, I should have gave it a break a while ago. There's some big. Oh shoot! Just about to say. Oh shoot! Just about to say there's some big old logs. Some big old logs coming down. And I turn around and there's one right there coming at the trolling motor. See, can we find bottom again? I don't know. We lost bottom. There we go. We're drifting back too fast. That is the problem. Work's been so slow. Like, I could actually go fishing every day this week because there's nothing on the schedule. But if I'm not there, then I can miss out on potential work. But it's very hard not to just say heck with it and go fishing, you know? That's kind of what happened today. And people been canceling like crazy, like no call, no shows. I'm even starting to think like not not a conspiracy, but like a ploy or a tactic or something. Because like a bunch of new customers been calling, people I never heard of, never new voices, and they schedule and they don't show up and they don't call. They just no call, no show. I had 3 of them today, 3 no call, no shows, all new customers. I'm like, and then it happened yesterday, and it happened a bunch last week. I'm like, what is going on? Like all kind of things are going through my mind of like, what is like the people, I do know, uh, I get a lot of telemarketing calls from people that build websites for businesses, and they're high pressure salespeople, like the worst, like hardcore telemarketers. They'll call you and be like, "Oh, we built you a website. Can we have your email address so you can check it out?" No, I didn't ask you to build me a website. Well, it's free. It don't cost nothing. What's your email address? You can go look at it. We'll email you the link. And you try to tell these people no, or you're not interested, and they're like, oh, how it can increase your business and this and that, and I tell them, you end up basically having to hang up on them because they just won't stop. They just won't take no for an answer, and you just got to hang up on them. But I get a lot of them people calling, the website building people, and I'm like, what if it's them making these fake appointments, trying to fill up all my time, and then it's a no call, no show when it could be actually real customers. I just can't, like I said, a bunch of things going through my mind, but I just can't understand. Like today, 3 people, 3 new customers, and all no call, no show. Like that's just weird. And I'm like, man, what if it's them website building companies and they're so mad at me just hanging up on them to where they're like calling and making fake appointments to try to get my business down to where I do need them or I'm desperate and I say, okay, build me the website. I mean, I know that don't make much sense, but I'm trying to make sense of why I'm having so many new customers and they're all no call, no show. Then I don't know. I don't know. But then there's some days where the phone just don't even ring at all. So that's weird too. Even telemarketers, like I usually get about 15 to 25 spam calls a day. And I haven't even been, but see, that's the thing too. I did set up, well, I was about to show y'all, it's on my phone. I did set up a Verizon call filter app, and the days that the phone doesn't ring and I don't get any calls, I wonder if that Verizon call filter is blocking actual real people. You know what I mean? Which it wouldn't make sense because after I set up that Verizon call filter, I still got a bunch of spam and robot and telemarketing calls. Unless it takes time to like activate or actually start working. Because I did notice when I set up the Verizon call filter, it's like an app you download from Verizon. I think it's just called Verizon call filter. But I noticed when I downloaded that and set it up, like the next day or two or three, I had just as many calls. It didn't even help at all. But then now I'm not getting any calls. So it makes me wonder if it took time to like activate or something. And if it did, is it blocking actual real people? I had no intention getting down to this bridge, but we're about there. Yeah, I got to go back to work after this and fool with them transmission lines. And now I'm faced with, well, I had the old Dorman line that was wrong. And I actually started, I was just going to, because it was like 1 millimeter too long where it goes into the transmission. So I was just going to shorten it, but I was on the fence how I should do it. Should I take a grinder? Should I just grind it down? Should I cut it? I ended up taking a hacksaw, a hand hacksaw, and it started cutting on an angle. And I only needed to cut like 1.5 millimeter, and I cut like 2 millimeter. And it's on an angle to where it was going to cut even more. So I messed that line up. Well, the AC Delco GM line I went and picked up today, it's too long too. It won't work. But now I'm like, do I cut that one? Do I go attempt number two and cut that one and try to make it work? Because I ordered a fitting, a transmission fitting that the line goes into that'll be here tomorrow. So changing that fitting may allow for the wrong line to work. So do I cut the line tonight and try to make it work? But if I mess that line up, then the actual fitting will come tomorrow and I won't have a line. I'll have to order another line and wait another day. But the fitting that's coming may not even be the right fitting. So I already have one line I cut and damaged that I can't return. And now do I go for round two? See, I should have just grinded it. I didn't grind it though because I'm like, well, this metal tubing's pretty thin. It's going to get cherry red. It's going to deform. But I'm thinking about grinding this one. But if I mess it up, then I'm going to have two lines that are ruined and I can't return because I chopped on them. But I'm like desperate to get this vehicle done because it dude's driving me crazy. Yep, I knew there was a leaf on there. Look, I knew it felt heavy. See, we should not be dealing with leaves in December. These are fall problems. Same with all this hydrilla. Just crazy, 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 crazy. That's why I've been fishing the lake so much because this river's just, it's all mixed up, you know? It's winter time, but yet we're dealing with fall problems like leaves and hydrilla. The lake is nice because the lake I fish is basically all rock bottom. It's like a rocky shale, might be limestone. I don't know. All I know is it's rocky and nothing grows on the bottom, so there's no leaves. Well, there's some leaves, but no weeds and grass and stuff like that, like there is on the river. But the lake's over an hour away. I know I said that was the last drift or bump, but you know how it goes. One more cast. The notorious one more cast. It already feels like there's leaves on this thing. It's heavier than it should be. That's one thing that's nice about bumping at the dam too, is like all them leaves and stuff get trapped because they float on the surface. So most of the leaves get trapped on the upside of the dam. Hey Chuck, Chuckity Chuck Chuck. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You guys remember them commercials from years ago? I think they were like I don't know, Progressive or Nationwide, where the uh woodchucks are chucking that dude's wood. They're chucking the wood in the water and laughing. And he comes out raising his fist. He's like, "Dang you woodchucks, quit chucking my wood." Anybody remember that commercial? I don't remember. I think it was like Geico or Nationwide or something. I don't know. But the woodchucks are chucking this dude's wood. I should have turned that troll that sonar on the bow. It's daytime brightness. It's so bright, kind of blinding. It's a good way to not see a barge coming. speaking of barges, I haven't seen a single one. Yeah, this boat, it's been giving me problems since day one. And that's no exaggeration. That's why I usually just use the trolling motor. 90% of the time when I go out on this boat, the gas engine doesn't even get used. But like today, I wanted to run up to the dam and definitely needed the gas engine. I think it needs a new impeller or housing. I don't know. I got to take it apart and measure the clearance between the uh, jet pump wall and the impeller because it acts like a transmission slipping. Like it would only go like 7 or 8 miles an hour, and then as soon as I tried to give it more gas, the RPMs would shoot sky high, and the boat would stop propelling forward. Like it would, and I would back down on the throttle and start giving a little gas, and it would start going again. And then once I try to go over like 7 or 8 miles an hour, it'd be like wee, like it was in neutral. But this is a jet boat. I mean, it does have a gearbox, but I don't. I think it's gear to gear. I don't believe there's any clutches in it that can slip. I think what I'm describing as a transmission slipping is the jet pump cavitating so bad to where it's making massive amounts of air bubbles to where essentially the impeller is spinning even though it's in the water. It's cavitating so bad to where it's essentially making the air so oxygenated to where the impeller is basically spinning in the air, so there's no resistance of the water. That's the only way I can make it make sense in my mind, is that it's cavitating. But it sure acts like a transmission slipping. You try to start going, it goes fine, slow, and as soon as you give it some gas and start moving quicker, the RPMs will jump from like 2,000 to 6,000, and it just revs super high, just like you're in neutral, just like a transmission slipping. And it's weird it does that because I had a problem with this boat for like the past few months, and that wasn't the problem. The problem was it wouldn't go over like 15 miles an hour, full throttle. And I wasn't sure if it was an engine problem or a jet pump problem. But now it's not an engine problem now because, like I said, it's going to 6,000 RPM. It's only supposed to go to 5. So now I'm thinking, leaning towards jet pump problem or impeller problem, whatever you want to call it. I should just rip this whole inboard out. Some people take the inboard out and put an outboard on these things. Because if I did put an outboard on this, I could get rid of this seat, get rid of this hatch, have all the space where basically I would have 5 feet of walking room. Like right now, I'm standing right up against the seat. I can't walk back any further. But if I took the engine out and took these seats out, I would have like 5 more feet to walk. But I like this jet boat because I only need 18 inches of water. This boat can draft. The draft in this boat's 18 inches. I only need 18 inches of water, so I can get in some skinny stuff. And I like that about this boat. But I mean, I guess if those outboard, if the outboard jet, but the outboard You know, the jet outboards, that would not be a bad idea. The only thing is, all right, Lisa, if you ain't left already, catch you later. Nah, I'm about to wrap it up. I won't be on later. But the only thing with them jet boats, why does that feel like that? There's definitely leaves on here. Come on, get off it. Them outboard jet boat engines are crazy expensive. Even the old ones from like the 90s, 80s, and 90s, they still want like $2,000 and $3,000 for a 20, 30-year old outboard jet engine. And then the new ones, oh, forget about it. They want like 10 grand, 15 grand. You know, now the wind has stopped, like officially. I can't catch a break with the wind. That's one reason I decided to go fishing today. Because I was at work looking at the open flag that hangs out front, was standing still. Was no wind was blowing it. Wasn't blowing at all. And then I got out here and it felt like probably like 20, 25 mile an hour gust. And now that we're about to leave, the wind completely stopped. Yeah, I didn't even plug my phone in because I knew I wasn't going to be live long. It's probably about to shut off if I had to guess. I just wanted to catch one fish bumping. I've yet to catch a fish on this bumping rod. Bumping. Next time I go fishing, I gotta have to mind to just drag baits with this bumping rod just to get the bad juju off of it. This rod or reel have not caught a fish yet, and I've had it for over a year. We just never have any flow to bump around here. MVP, what's happening? See, now the wind's down. I'm able to keep contact with bottom consistently. Like right now, I'm feeling it. Tap, 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 tap. See, now we're going a little too. Trolling motor needed up one click because it's going tap, 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 tap. I can't get it off bottom. But we turned it up one click, and that will get us back to a good bump. There's more leaves on the line. I can feel them. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, see, tap. Everything's perfect now that the wind died. Everything's perfect except for the time that I have. I have to go back to work. Yeah, when my boat wasn't running right, I still was like dead set on going to the dam to bump. I actually was heading that way for about 10 minutes, feathering the throttle, trying to get over 10 mile an hour. And as fast as I could get the boat to go was like 7 to 8 miles an hour. And as soon as I'd give it more gas to go over 8 mile an hour, it would be like wing, like it was slipping. Which I think it was cavitating is what it was doing. But I'm glad I didn't make it, because then I'd have to be coming back from the dam going 5 miles an hour. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. Good to see you in chat. Yeah, I was saying earlier when I started this live, I was like, I don't even know. I might just take a couple weeks off from going live because it's so hard for me to be myself this time of year. Just the stress from the holidays. And my kid's birthday's the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. So not only do I have Christmas to get ready for, I got birthday to get ready for. And it's just, with work being slow and holidays and birthdays, it is overwhelming. So I was seriously thinking about not going live until the holidays are over. I don't know though. I've been trying to build my channel and get my watch hours up, and that is like totally the opposite. So, but part of me says, that's what I should do is not go live. If I can't be my, usual happy go lucky self, then I shouldn't, go live. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to say, like you just don't know what the next day will bring. Could get better, could get worse. I do know one thing: trying to take the boat out on a weekday when it gets dark at 5 o'clock is just too hard and too stressful. I'm definitely gonna keep the boat reserved for weekends in the winter. Either weekends or a day that I'm off the whole day. I thought about going live because I tie flies and I make ammo, reload brass shells and I tie flies, but I do that down in my basement and it's pretty dang dark. There's no good light down there. But if I rigged up some lights, I could go live while I'm tying flies or reloading shells. I actually got some 9mm tumbling right now in the tumbler. Price has gone up so high. I used to just buy the brass shells at Cabela's, by the bagful. Did I just break my key off? I hope I didn't. But I've been picking the brass shells up off the ground because they got so expensive. But when you do that, you got to put them in like a media tumbler. I use crushed walnut shells, and you basically put them in like a rock tumbler. Well, actually, what I use is a rock tumbler. The one for the actual shells, the Cabela's wanted like $300. I said no way. I had a rock tumbler for polishing rocks, and I use that. It works fine. I put the crushed walnut shells in with the old dirty uh, brass and the bullet casings, and run it for like 3 hours. And when they come out, they look brand spanking new. They actually look better than the ones from the store because they're like freshly polished. And I thought about, like, I'm like, well, YouTube might frown upon, bullets being made, but people have channels to where that's all their channel is guns, you know, or hunting. Like there's this one YouTuber, Pistol Pete. He has, like, if you look when he's live, behind him he has a wall, and he probably has like 100 guns on this wall. And his whole channel is just guns and ammo. So if they let that, then I doubt they would care about me reloading some bullets. But if I get some lighting set up, down some better lighting in the basement, we uh we could go live while I'm reloading some shells. Well, my arm's about bumped off. I've been bumping for about an hour. I know I got leaves on this line because this thing weighs like it's super heavy. Feels like I got a 6 ounce sinker on. Heather with the last minute kitty cat call. Kitty, kitty, kitty. I would love to catch a catfish. I haven't caught a catfish on this rod since I bought it, and that was over a year ago. It's just a bumping rod, and we haven't had enough current to bump. Or if we did have current, it was just for like a day, and then the water went back down. Yeah, that's a wrap. My hands are froze. And there's leaves or something on this line. And it's dark. Y'all can't see. Man, that was out there far. If we would have had a fish, that would have been very tiresome to reel fishing that far. I don't even think I brought a headlamp with me because I had zero intention on being out here at dark. Zero. Come on, white bass, get off the hook. I think I got leaves around my trolling motor too, or something, or weeds, because I hear it. I hear it up there like sounding like a propeller. Where'd that white bass go? I know it fell in the boat. Is that it? Yep, that's it. Oh, I just backlashed that dang hook. I dropped it when I was trying to. I can't see. These lights to this bridge are so bright, it makes it to where I can't see. Can't see what I'm looking at because I've been staring back at the lights to that bridge for the past half hour. There we go. What was that? Well, thanks for stopping by, Heather, and anyone else who stopped by. Thank you. I'm gonna wrap this up. My plan today, and I said earlier that was my first problem, is I made a plan. But my plan was we were gonna gas motor troll up to the dam, and then when we got to the dam, we was gonna bump for catfish. But nothing went as planned. They say, what do they say? You make plans and God laughs, or something like that. But yeah, I definitely shouldn't have made plans. I should have just, well, I don't know. It's hard not to go out on the water and not have a plan. But at the same time, I don't know. I guess you just need to be flexible in your plans and expect things not to go as planned and have backup plans. But I was like dead set on bumping because the river came up. We had some rain. I haven't got to use that bumping rod in like a year. And I was like, that's it. We're bumping. We're going to the dam. And I was like so set on that. But anyways, I'll catch y'all later next time I'm live. And anyone that stopped in, thank you for watching.